I want to talk about dealing with stitch problems when people cross in front of the camera. So if you watch these two ladies here walk right through the stitch line, you can kind of see that obnoxious line as it happens. It's not awful, or it's not going to totally ruin your shot, but it is something that you run into on occasion that I want to talk about, and we can run through some ways to fix this. So in order to fix this kind of thing, I like to export a couple different versions of this video to then be able to animate more and edit more in After Effects. So I like the stitch pretty much everywhere else in the image other than that one part where they walk through the frame. So I'm going to render out first our high quality sharp stitched image. This is the one I like, so we'll probably be using most of this video as far as that goes. So we'll go ahead and export this, and we'll just call this sharp. And I will click render. So basically what the sharp version is I've left the blend settings at the sharp option. So it's basically really accurate. It looks really sharp and clean. The lines are clean. I'm a fan of them. But what that usually also occurs in is sharper cutting. So if somebody crosses in front of a line, or if you have a messed up stitch area, it's more obvious. So that's kind of why they call that sharp. So the next one I want to export, now that we have this one all exported and done, is I'm going to change our blend mode to smooth. And we'll go ahead and click apply. And you'll notice that areas that are having problems just kind of do a little crossfade thing there, as you can see. So it's still obvious, but it's not as obvious as the stitch line was before. So what we're going to do is I'm going to export this region again with the smooth settings applied. So we'll just go ahead and hit render. And this time we'll call it smooth. Hit save and render. We'll let that go. Go ahead and save our project here. We can hide this. Let's open up After Effects and let's drag in both of our shots here. So we have smooth and sharp, just the way we want it. I'm going to drag on sharp first, and then we'll put smooth on top of that, like so. We can go ahead and rename this as well. We'll just call this shot or something simple like that. And as you can see, don't need any audio. Right now we have the smooth shot on top. I'm going to go ahead and hide that right now. But basically what I'm going to be doing here is a really basic mask in After Effects. So we're basically just going to be saying all I want to keep from this smooth video on the top that we've titled is this little region here where the ladies cross in front of that seam. Because mostly I don't want that smooth look on everything else. If there's any other weird stitch lines, I just want them to kind of blend in with the sharp blending mode. So basically what this is allowing me to do is something that is not possible in AVP currently, but basically I'm masking off an area that I want to be utilized for smooth blending and leaving everything else as sharp blending. And I've used this before on some shots, and I like how this turns out and how this works. It seems to work a little bit better for shots where I want more granular control. So basically all we need to do is figure out where our ladies are walking through the stitch. I'm going to do a quick RAM preview here just to get these frames loaded up. And you can see it's a pretty basic mask there. So all I'm going to do is basically do a mask that's animated on top of our people here. So I'm just going to do something like this. And again, this is really quick, just demonstration. You'd probably want to spend more time on it if you were being, if this was your final shot. We don't want that stitching method transition to be obvious. We want it to be very smooth and subtle. So basically what we're going to do now is animate this mask so that it follows the people we want it to follow. We want to create a keyframe or mask path. And we'll go ahead and drag up there. And this is not a linear image, so keyframing will be a little bit different, simply because this is an equirectangular image. And you could go in and make this into a cube map if you'd like and do all your masking there. But just for the sake of showing, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it here in After Effects, like here, or like this on the equirectangular image. And you can see there, you can see that difference that I'm basically calculating between the two when I drag that mask around. So something like that. That's great. We'll come over here, drag this down a little bit more. We'll do another RAM preview to see how that looks. Okay, great. And maybe even once they pass into that new camera, see at this point they're already pretty much inside that camera and we don't need to even worry about doing that blending anymore. It should already look okay, but if you need to, another nice thing with this is you can keyframe the opacity of the mask. So at this point we want it to be completely transparent or not effective, and here we want it to be starting our transition from 100% to 0. And we'll just come here and add 0 there. And we have ourselves a disappearing mask at that point. So as you can see, that mask follows those two ladies as they cross that stitch line, and now that walking across the stitch line is much smoother. So this is a good option to use if people are crossing in front of it and you want a quick way to kind of fix and adjust. This is also great if you do have a reason for using different blending modes on different portions of the framing. There's lots of different options here as far as how you want to do it. Usually, again, I'm always on sharp. That's how I do 99% of my stitches. But there are occasions where I do want to bring in that smooth blending data from AVP because it does such a great job. And it's really fast and easy. And then I can just mask the areas that I want to keep and keep everything else as sharp in that same image. And then once you're done, obviously you can pre-comp this and do a color grade or send this over to Premiere, or do a final export from right here. So it's really, really useful. It's really, really flexible, and it's another really great tool to have in your tool belt.